Thank you for coming today. Today we're interviewing Harry Levy for the Library of Congress Veterans History Project. And today is August the 13th. We're doing the interview in the Southfield Public Library in Southfield, Michigan. And Daniel Brightwell and I are commissioners from the Southfield Veterans Commission Association. So we're very happy to have you come and take the time to tell us your story. Your name is Harry Levy, and what is your birth date?
5/18/22.
Okay, and the war that you served in?
World War II.
And the branch of service?
Army.
Army?
Army infantry, actually.
Infantry? Okay. And what's the highest rank you received? Staff Sergeant.
Staff Sergeant.
Okay.
Right, okay.
Very good. And the date and the place when you, were you drafted?
Yeah, I was drafted.
Okay. Were you drafted in Detroit?
In Detroit, yes.
And when you were drafted, where did you have to report?
I think it was Fort Custer, near Kalamazoo.
And did you get back home, or did you stay there from the time that you...
I stayed there. They sent me from there to San Diego, California.
Right away?
Well, I'm not sure. It wasn't very long. Maybe a week or two. It wasn't very long. Maybe 1 week.
How did you get to San Diego?
By train. By train. I had basic training in San Diego, California.
Okay.
But it was on a 90mm anti-aircraft. They were like a basic training, but that was what they had there. Instead of the infantry at that time, I didn't start in infantry, but I ended up in infantry because they had the second front opened up in Europe, so they took everybody from the West Coast and sent them over to the East Coast. That's what they did.
Now, what year was this, and what month?
Oh, this is I went in at September of 1943. September 1943. Yeah.
And so you did all your basic training at San Diego?
San Diego, California.
What's the name of the base there?
Camp Callan. Camp Callan. It's right across from the Marine base over there. And I'm looking at the Pacific Coast. I figured for sure I'm going to the Pacific, but they sent me all the way. But in the infantry, I went to Europe rather than the jungles over the other way.
Now, you took, how many months was your basic training?
I think it's 13 weeks.
13 weeks?
13 weeks.
And you spent all that time in San Diego?
Right.
And then from there you went to?
Well, they sent me all the way across to Fort Dix, New Jersey.
From San Diego back to New Jersey?
No, but then you had about desert maneuvers and let's see, Yuma, Arizona. I think that was part of the basic training. It had to be. It's a long time ago. And then from there, when he sent us out, they sent us the other way to, like I said, Fort.
Yeah, how long were you in Yuma, Arizona?
Over there, I wasn't there too long. Maybe a couple of weeks, that's about all. And then that's the POE. You go there, you're going overseas. The part of the embarkation.
Yeah, you went by train from San Diego?
Everything's by train, and train over there. And from there, we went out to Queen Mary.
Oh. So when you, well, I wanted to ask you first,
sure.
Did any people in your family serve in the military?
Well, I had a brother who served he went in right at Pearl Harbor, maybe even before Pearl Harbor. And he was in there 4.5 years and about 2 years in India, in the Air Corps. But he was on the ground. Actually, he was loading bombs on the plane. He was a corporal. He came home after 4.5 years. I was in altogether 2.5 years, but I have 18 months overseas. I mean, in a battle area. And the shows on there, I had 3 major battles. I don't know what I'm doing here. You know, really, it's impossible being infantry and have 3 major battles and come back in one piece.
Well,
just about lucky. 1 piece. Almost 1 piece.
Somebody was watching out.
Oh, sure. Now my religion, somebody looking after me.
Now you went from Yuma, Arizona by train to New Jersey?
Right.
And where were you in New Jersey?
Fort Dix, New Jersey.
Oh.
Fort Dix. I know it's right from Yuma, Arizona, but from that area anyhow. I'm not sure exactly where we left from, but in that area.
Okay. And that you knew you were going overseas then?
Oh yeah, I told you. Well, they had a lot of sad-looking guys. Some guys were in the hotel, you know, had what they call it, ASCP, Army Specialized Training Program, and they put them in the infantry. So I didn't look for anything like that. They were very disappointed. You don't go from a hotel to, let's face it, you dig a hole in the ground. You know, they were living, but the second front opened up. They took everybody they could get.
Now, how long were you at Fort Dix?
Just a couple of weeks, that's all.
That's the port of embarkation.
Maybe 2 weeks.
Now you were on the St. Mary's, St. Mary.
The Queen Mary.
Queen Mary. So you traveled that.
From there
did you go on a convoy too?
No, one ship.
Because the ship traveled so fast. That,
and at that time they could maneuver enough that the German submarines couldn't get set to shoot it, to sink it. Now I happened to be on the Queen Mary in Ocean Beach, California. Is that what it was? I think it was Ocean Beach. Anyhow, the Queen Mary was docked there after the war. And in the engine room, right at the bottom of the ship, they had a big thing about Hitler was going to give any submarine captain, $1 million, $1 million, a lot of money those days, to stick the Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth. But they couldn't stick it anyhow.
Aren't you glad? Now, where did you, how many days did it take you to go across?
7 days.
To go to England?
To go to England. I'm not sure exactly where they landed at, but it was England.
Oh, but you don't remember what the place was?
I don't know what, but I don't think it was that far from London. Everything's got something to do with London. It wasn't that far. I didn't pay attention to it. You know, at that time, you don't think about where you landed, where you're going. You don't. Wherever they tell you to go, they take you. You don't have to worry about it. You don't know where you're going, but you're going to be there, wherever it is.
Now, when you got to England, where did you go? Did you go to a base there, or
some kind of base? I'm not sure where it was. I don't know the name of it, but it wasn't in London actually. It could be. I'd say it's north of London. But.
And what did you? Were you training there at the base?
No, I don't remember doing much of any training. They were just waiting around more or less for the invasion.
For the Normandy invasion.
Normandy invasion.
So what month was that?
I'm not sure exactly what month it was.
Well,
the basic training was 13 weeks, so maybe it's we were there maybe up to 6 months before I went any farther from there.